brainstorming a niche and taking action. That is what we'll discuss today. Welcome to my channel. My name is Luc Nicolas Delacretien, and I'm the founder of Business Purpose Mastery. And with this channel, I hope to be helping you find your purpose and build your business around it. There are so many opportunities nowadays to build and launch an online business, but there are very few that actually focus on building something that is purpose driven, that is driven based on your authentic self, on the values, the talents, and skills that you have. So, don't forget to subscribe and let's get started. So, what is a niche or niche depending on where you live? Well, a niche is a target that you choose to be serving. You could imagine that your market is a small group of people that have a very similar problem. So I always like to use the analogy of a pond. You have a pond, which is rather a small area of water compared to, for example, an ocean. And what niching, whatever you want to pronounce it, does is basically focus on the pond rather than on the ocean. And why is that so valuable? It's so valuable in the sense that it actually doesn't make your product in itself better, but it actually makes your product resonate better with your audience. And I will explain this with the following visual. So imagine this being the pond that you're currently targeting your market in. Okay, so this is the pond where your potential clients are residing. So what you're doing is basically your message that you're sending to your prospects and your leads will be better heard than comparing that to a huge ocean where your message basically gets lost in the size of things, right? So that is the first analogy that I want to introduce here. And why is that so important? Because niching down is actually like the soil. It's like the fertile ground that actually makes your business grow much faster than if you would focus on a much larger subset of the market. So let's get real. So let's focus on how can you brainstorm ideas to find a niche or a niche. A valuable practice for brainstorming your niche is by free writing. And what free writing does is basically you grab a piece of paper, you grab a pencil, and you write down every possible thought that comes into mind when thinking of your ideal client. And by ideal client, I mean the following. So you would have to choose between four types of clients, where one type of client basically is located in the area of your expertise, right? So this is your area of expertise. Then you have a second area where you target people that are perhaps very easy to target. They can generate you quite a lot of revenue. They can generate you a lot of money. So this has a very big dollar sign on it because it will generate you money. Then you have an audience that perhaps is the best resonating with what you have to say. So I like to call this the zone of genius, right? So it's the area where you as a person can provide the most value to your audience, right? Which doesn't necessarily give you the biggest returns in financial means, but it gives you the biggest return with regard to actually doing what you love, right? And then the fourth target market would be, well, that would be everything else. So that would, in my eyes, that's basically the rest. And I will just give it a gray color. And this is how I would divide the brainstorming session by asking yourself for each and every type of possible clients that you would be serving, what possible business you could be building, asking yourself, am I doing it for the money? Am I doing it because purely there is a target market that I can serve with my current skills because I am in that zone of excellence? So in these four zones, starting with the zone of genius, this is the area where you want to be. This is the area where you want to be. And this area will provide you with the greatest returns. Why? Because it has some very great benefits, which are you have a unique selling proposition in your zone of genius. And I will go more detail about unique selling proposition. But first I want to quickly look at why the other options will not actually give you both a financial and a non-financial return over time. When you focus purely building a business and in the brainstorming phase on opportunities that exist in the market, you will go mad. Lastly, I was brainstorming what I could do with my background in business finance, in managing and helping CEOs and business owners run their business, what opportunities I could build with with this with this approach. And basically, I was thinking about setting up AI businesses by building software, by looking at how to build, for example, an accounting firm, a lot of options. But what happens is that you get lost in the dollar sign. You get lost in only the motivation to actually make lots of money. And that is not bad in and of itself. But once your vision and your drive becomes following the money, you will get stuck very quickly. So the third option we have is basically the rest. All the rest that does not fit in your zone of genius, in your excellence, in your graph of excellence, or in your space of competence. So in your space of competence, you can think of things that you're competent at, but not so very good. In your zone of excellence, you are basically, yeah, you're very skilled and experienced at what you do. Often this is what your job is about, and your zone of genius is something usually that we or depending on your current state, we still have to work towards, which is also could be very scary to move towards. So moving forward, what I think is important when looking at your unique selling proposition, at your unique selling points, is thinking about what makes you unique, what makes you authentic, what makes you genuine. And the questions you can start asking yourself to brainstorm your niche is to first start off by asking yourself, what have you overcome? So you write down, what have I overcome in the past? That's the first question that you look at. Why? Because you helped solve a problem. So the first question is you look at what did you help other people overcome? And what I mean is that you had a problem. Okay, so you had a problem that you helped someone or yourself overcome. This is proof that you can actually solve someone else's problem, someone else's pain. But the point is that, in my eyes, this isn't sufficient enough to actually find your niche and decide on who you want to be serving. You need another you need another variable that will actually give you that unique edge. And this is basically could be classified as experience. Okay, so this is actually experience and education, right? But then we still have another component which is very essential in finding and brainstorming for a niche. And that is what, let's say, your unique talents and skills are. Okay? If you combine experience and education with unique talents and skills, which I call authenticity. If you combine those two, you get a very powerful combination that will actually help you to find your it will help you to find your niche. Okay, so the niche we already talked about is that pond where you are dominating that specific area. You're dominating that specific pond because there is no one else that knows as much about the topic, knows as much about the problem that you're trying to solve as you do. And that is the power of niching down. The power of niching down is being actually, I'm gonna say it bluntly, but being number one in that area. And once you are number one in that area, you will attract much more people because they know that in order to solve this specific problem, they need to arrive at your business and they need your help. So if you found this video valuable, then please don't forget to subscribe, leave behind a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. And of course, I think that every phase and every phase of starting or trying to start or trying to build a business, you need to reevaluate what the niche is or niche that you're trying to work on. And for that, I've also set up two videos. One, which you can click on and watch, is looking at the marketing strategy. You need a great marketing strategy in order to communicate that what you have to offer in your niche and how to arrive at those customers. And I have another video you can look at is looking at how you can build a business and determining what you want to be building a business about. So very much related to niche and very specific and very helpful. So see you in the next one. Thank you.